day, Henry was pulling the express. Tiring, cause he doesn't have enough sleep after he heard the news that Percy is dead. Henry was bored going to the trip. But then Henry heard a noise screaming in pain. But the person who screamed ran after Henry. Henry had to quickly going back. Then it was James, puffing back, screaming in pain. His brakes are on fire as well. Henry was left shocked. Then he had to go check what's happening. He passed his own tunnel, but then he saw James derailed. But then Thomas had to arrive. He told Henry that he will get the coaches. Along, Henry suddenly puffed going back. Then Henry and the driver agree to be more careful. A sign of something bad will happen. Henry suddenly puffed by a shed. But then, the next day morning, Donald and Douglas were pulling the coaches, and Toby was passing by. But Donald and Douglas were too busy to speak to Toby that he or they went ago now. They both running well, speaking about their own countries. But then Donald can't stop. He trying to brake, but then Donald derailed and Douglas was off the track. The driver suddenly went and speak to Douglas, but Douglas won't listen. Henry saw everything. He was shocked. He tried to pull Donald, but Donald was derailed. But then something horrible might happen. Gordon left the express coaches. He was passing by without knowing Donald and Douglas were over there. Then Gordon was derailed and were very brutal. That they don't want Henry to see. Henry pulled back the coaches and then told the passengers everything what happened. But then the driver checked on Gordon. His steam was off and his eyes were exploded. One night, Thomas visited Henry. Thomas was feel bad for Henry and said that it's okay. He was a hero, talking about James and Gordon. But Henry was crying, said that his friends were dead. Thomas said that he would tell him a story. 2 days ago, Jock came by to destroy Thomas. His eyes were glowing, wants revenge. But then James was passing by, screaming in pain. He was passing Duke alive, and his brakes started getting on fire. Duke had no choice but to run after him. Later, in crew, the driver had to upgrade Henry, so Duke didn't recognize him. He suddenly go and get the workers, but the workers said that Duke also invaded him. But then when Henry going and see Diesel like praying for the ritual, Henry saw and left speechless. But Diesel suddenly recognized Henry and suddenly tell Henry that was a good shape. To be continued.